Say if we're live.
We're live.
Are we live? Just listen a little bit till everybody comes on.
That's right.
One way,
Another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna see. I don't know the words. I know one way or another.
You know what?
Good evening.
This is such a lacquer song to start the day, evening off.
You did, didn't you do alternative words, Rita, specifically for the summit?
Yes, I did. I've got somebody that's going to perform it for us at the African Pet House. So it's lacquer, yeah.
So for the walk-in.
Yeah. It's going to be very much fun. So anyway, are we ready? Okay. Is people coming on? Are we having some live?
Lindy's on, Mr. Miyagi, she's on. So we'll just wait a little bit longer.
So everybody comes before we start. We can keep on listening to this, but I'm scared that the Facebook police is going to kill us when we start doing
this. They hit us with copyright. We can't
Fun and games. Okay, so I think we are ready. If you're ready, we are ready.
Cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get
3,
4. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, Iris. Iris is from PE. Mr. Miyagi is from Cape Town.
Okay, there is
What's PE? What's PE?
Port Elizabeth. Now,
it's Port Elizabeth, or now it's got a very nice word that I cannot pronounce.
I can't say it.
Quebeca. I think it. Sorry, guys from PE, if you're listening, if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But
it will always be. It's like Hans Strijdom, Rita. It will always be Hans Strijdom. It will never be Solomon Bushlango.
It's true. It's very true. Us are not changing. So, Rita, just a little bit of a background. In South Africa, our government changes towns names, and it changes street names, and it changes all kinds of things just to spend money, because we've got way too much money and there's no poverty in our country, so we can spend it on changing towns. Now I've had my piece of political science, so let's go. Welcome everybody.
Good evening,
Pawz and People, and the two aunties. I'm Rita.
Hello, Antonette.
And we have got Rita with us.
Yes.
Hello,
Rita Hogan.
Hello.
We're so blessed. We're very lucky to have you, Rita. Wow.
I'm excited.
I'm a little bit starstruck. So.
Oh, come on. I'm in my dining room.
Brilliant.
That is what makes it so nice. It's like having dinner with everybody in the dining room or in the
We should do
my
one
office
like have
too
dinner
hot
with
today.
How hot is it
in my
your
office?
side?
Well, it's one of the hottest days of the year where I live right now, because we don't have, like, our summers are, I don't know what the Celsius is, but Fahrenheit they're like 90 degrees, and today it's gonna, like, or 80 degrees, but today it's going to be 98, 99, 100. So my office is already too hot. So I've been hanging out here in the hot days because the air conditioning just doesn't really get up there, and it's just too hot. So I've been writing mostly right now. So I've been just writing in this nice little sunny spot, and I also work outside. But usually I do my podcasts up in my office, and it's too hot. So
that is a 36-degree day with you guys. So that is quite a 36 degrees Celsius. That's quite an average summer day for us.
Oh,
so
yeah, I would wilt.
We have got today, where I'm now at, the temperature is 14 degrees Celsius, and that is extremely cold. It's extremely cold for us. So that's 57 Fahrenheit.
Oh, 57. Wow.
That is cold for us. That's really cold.
57 is chilly. It's chilly. It's really warm when you come out of winter. but it's still chilly.
This is the middle of our winter. This is now the cold time of winter for us. It's 57.
Well,
in Cape Town. At night. I don't know. In Joburg and Pretoria, it can get colder, but anyway. So, and I know some parts of it is like they are having a 28-degree evening. In KZN, it's warm, much warmer here. So we're blessed. We don't sit with your cold weather than what we do. So, Antonette, are you going to tell us?
I see my internet is doing its best again to throw me off. So just keep that in mind, please.
Okay, cool. So if Antonette disappears, everybody, you know the drill, then I'll take over and I'll ask him.
Rita just takes over.
Say this is it because it's crazy.
If I make strange movements, that's just to see if I'm still online, Rita. So you don't have to mimic my funny movements.
No problem.
Me. Yeah, that's me.
It's hard to know if you're still online. You're like, is anyone there?
I know that.
I was teaching a class this week, and I was like, "Hello, can you hear me?"
It is.
Anyway, while I'm still here.
Yeah. So
while I'm still here, let me quickly introduce Rita.
Yes. Perfect.
All right, cool. Rita Hogan. So chuffed to have you here on the show with us tonight. We're super excited to meet you in September.
I'm very excited.
You're a canine herbalist. Yeah, I know. Ooh, cool. You're a canine herbalist. You've got over 20 years of experience, founder of the Canine Herbalist, author of the Herbal Dog, which people will also be able to get your book when they come. And you're based in Washington, Olympia in Washington, and it's very hot there at the moment. You work with clients and with their dogs. You work with clients and their dogs across the world. So it's not just local. So you do. So
I don't do anything local, which is kind of funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. No, like I don't. Then you get involved with like local veterinary boards and stuff like that. I just don't. I hardly ever do it. I teach local. I teach herbalism locally, but okay. I teach it through my school as well online. We're putting together over the next like 3-4 years. We'll be putting together. I got to stop twirling. Over the next 3 or 4 years, we're really putting together a pretty intense school of canine herbalism that will have like. Right now it has like webinars and small courses, but it's going to have a 4-year certificate for canine herbalism, which a lot of people are like 4 years. Well, hey,
it goes fast.
Well, it took you how many years to learn everything?
Oh my God, 20. But the thing is that for me, like if I'm going to put my name behind someone saying that they went to my school, I need to know that they know anatomy. I need to know that they understand how the body works. I need to know that they understand holistically how the body works and how to choose herbs according to a client's individual dog, not just saying, put turmeric on it. So, it takes a while. It takes a while. I recently saw online, so funny, a naturopathic certificate that was $97 and took like 4 weeks. I was like, okay, come on. Like I don't want that person working with my dog. I'm gonna let you know right now. So yeah, we're really excited about the school, and it's going to be for everyone, but also for people who want to be certified in canine herbalism.
That sounds very exciting.
So just a quick note, everybody, for everybody listening, that's just like me. I've always got to be the corrector. Remember, this is about general information. We are not doing any prescriptions. We are not treating. It is an interaction. You've always got to check with your vet about interaction with your medication and existing conditions. So when in doubt, phone your vet. We are talking here in general. We're giving advice in terms of information. Okay, so we're not diagnostic, and we do not give solutions in terms of this is what you've got to do. So please keep an open mind, and it's here for information and education.
That was lovely. That was lovely. You did it very well. Very well.
So,
Keep it
Rita,
upbeat.
this amazing book, The Herbal Dog, talks about seeing the dog as a connected ecosystem, rather than treating one specific symptom at a time. Can you unpack this idea a little bit for us and tell us a little bit more about this concept of a ecosystem within your dog?
Yes. So, you know, our bodies mimic nature, right? And we look at how ecosystems work and how when we disrupt an ecosystem or pollute an ecosystem, everything goes downstream. And I have a level 2 course that I teach right now. And we were talking about the liver, and this is a perfect example. So I go through how each system is connected to something else. And so yesterday we were talking about how the nervous system is connected to the liver. And a lot of people don't think of dogs who are anxious and have anxiety and have restlessness or OCD or separation anxiety, right? They think about, what can I give to sedate the liver, to calm this dog down, right? They don't think like, well, what can I help the liver with? Like, the liver's not even a part of that discussion. But so if you know how the nervous system works holistically, the parasympathetic, which is your fight or flight, and the sympathetic, which is your rest and relaxation, it's where the nervous system regulates itself. Those nerves run through they're interconnected inside that liver tissue, right? And so when the sympathetic nervous system is activated, when a dog goes into fight or flight, or they have a low hum of stress, especially if their parents are stressed, as in human parents, the sympathetic nerves are activated, and that tissue knows that it's about to get flooded with cortisol, and it has to process and drain that cortisol. And it also knows when rest and relaxation, when, like for instance, my pug, she loves to chase cars. And when she chases cars, she puts herself in fight or flight. But then when the car goes by, she easily shakes her body, right? She shakes it off and switches back into parasympathetic tone. And the liver goes, oh, we're back. We're not in fight or flight anymore. We're resting and relaxing. Okay, I can go back to doing all my functions. Because when the sympathetic nerves start to activate, that liver knows, okay, we're not going to help the digestive system digest food. We're not going to do hardly anything except for keep this dog alive. And so that's a perfect example of a dog as ecosystem. So when we understand how these ecosystems are connected, we can actually start healing dogs with lasting results versus just constantly chasing symptoms and being reactive ourselves. Did you hear me? I hope so.
Like, I'm in awe. I'm in awe when I listen to you every single time since 2017, I think when was the first time that I met you? 2018.
Oh my God, that's right. We met when I did one of my first talks at the Dogs Naturally magazine conference.
Yes. Ever since then, I mean, you open your mouth and I'm like sort of like going like the genie in Aladdin. My jaw wants to drop to the floor and go like, this woman is talking so much real knowledge, and it is absolutely amazing. So for someone that's never used a single herb ever on their dog, what's the first thing that when we want when we want him to start understanding, what do they need to understand before they start using herbs on their dogs?
Well, a couple of things. One, there's more than just dogs in this conversation. There are people, right? We are sharing space with these lovely animals. that gives so much back to us, right? And a lot of people freak out because they're like, I don't know how to use herbs. I've never used herbs before. Not true. Like, I love to tell people, and I'll probably say something when I talk to the individuals, not the vets, but the individuals at the conference. You know, if you've ever made a cup of tea, that's a herbal infusion. If you have ever made a cup of coffee, that is an herbal decoction. If you have ever drank hard alcohol, that is an herbal distillation, right? If you've ever drank a beer, that is a distillation of hops. Hops is a wonderful herb, right? It's an herb. It's just not just for beer. It is for so many things. It's for the nervous system. It is full of estrogen. And if a man has low testosterone and he's a big beer drinker, you need to stop drinking your beer, and that testosterone will go back up. So, like, there's so many things. You've used herbs before. You have used them in your body. You just didn't know it, right? Because it's out of that conversation. So I want you to know that most people have done it, have used herbs before. You just need a little confidence. And almost all of the herbs in my book are non-toxic. I didn't include a lot of the herbs that need a lot of care, like comfrey. That's not in my book, right? Comfrey is a beautiful herb, but it's not in my book. So a lot of the herbs in the book, almost all of them, and I think all of them, are pretty non-toxic, meaning that they're not going to kill your dog. Can any dog have a reaction to anything, any herb? Yes. And usually that means itching, scratching, biting, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. Those are the things that usually tell people the herb's wrong or you're using too much of it. Okay? That's basically it. And what you usually do is you just stop that herb for 3 days and then introduce it again at a quarter of the dose and see what happens. If it's still happening after 3 days, then just stop that herb and move on to the next. But the patience is one thing. These are not pharmaceuticals. Sometimes you can get something that starts to show improvement in a few days, but usually it's going to be more like weeks. And then you start seeing these gradual changes. And the goal of any herb is just to move in the right direction, right? And then you get to a certain point, which I go over in my book on herbal expectations. When you get to a certain point, you start bringing down the dose and seeing if the dog can function, or if the function goes down. And if they do, then you just put them back on the herb. So, and herbs are individuals as well, right? They have their own ecosystem. And the biggest thing is to get to know an herb before you put it in your dog's body. Do your due diligence. Fortunately, if you're going to be using the herbs that I cover in my book, which I think I cover about 60 or 70, there's all the information you need to use herbs and like an herbs energetics. Like this morning I was doing a consult before this beautiful podcast, and someone made a sedative for the nervous system for this little pug. And I know this pug is not a warm pug. This little pug loves to be under the covers, loves to wear sweaters, always kind of chilly, always looking to, lay on you and get your warmth. And the herbs that were in this formula were cooling. So I just, casually told them, don't re-up that formula when it's done. And if she gets if she gets really cold or loses any type of vibrant functioning, just stop that herb. And then they pulled out ashwagandha. They said, well, she also gave us this powder. I said, that powder is fine. Here's what you need to know. If she starts humping you or something, it's the ashwagandha, because it can be like green tea, even if it's decaffeinated, it's still very stimulating to the nervous system. not from a caffeine perspective, but it's still stimulating. Like ashwagandha can be stimulating to some dogs. So like know your cautions, know if it can have a paradoxical effect, which is like valerian is a sedative, but sometimes when people take it or animals take it, it gives them the zoomies. They can't quit for hours. They're like, that's a paradoxical effect, right? It doesn't work the same for every animal. And so I said, yeah, ashwagandha is nice and warming. It warms the body and it's very good. It's a good herb for a nice little cool dog. So you can continue that for a while and see how it does. That's kind of like, know your herbs as individuals. Get some information. Don't just go by a post saying, this is great. Turmeric is great for arthritis. Sure, it absolutely is great for arthritis, but not if your dog is quite warm or hot. It's going to make the arthritis, it's going to make the mobility worse. Maybe not on the onset, maybe not for the first 2 weeks, but as you give it, it's going to make things worse. And it's going to make your dog hotter and have more proponency for disease. So
and for instance, something that I've learned here and there, you pick up these little things. Is everybody say do turmeric, it's good for joints and things like that. But then you've got a dog that has got a mangiosarcoma, for instance. It's not the right herb to use because it can cause bleeding. Am I right?
No.
No. Okay, cool. Thanks. Now I like it when I get corrected.
Okay, Rita. So it's not a good herb if you are in the window where it's about to blow, right? Then no. But if you're just diagnosed and there's still a good window and your dog is cool, turmeric is a wonderful cancer herb. Wonderful, 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 but not for every dog. So what you want to do is you want to give that turmeric with something that helps with bleeding, like yarrow. You would pair it with yarrow, which helps with internal bleeding. It's not a super blood thinner, right? Turmeric's not a super blood thinner, but it does have blood thinning quality. So you're partially correct on that.
So when you've got a dog that's on heart medicine,
okay,
and I'm going specifically on turmeric now because I've got a few dogs.
Oh, turmeric with heart medicine, it should be fine. Like for instance, my mom takes a prescription blood thinner. She takes 6 pills of turmeric a day.
Okay.
Because without turmeric, she cannot walk. Like turmeric literally is the difference of my mother walking. My mother's 95, of walking around like a normal person with her cane and unable to stand. It does such wonderful anti-inflammatory work for her knees. I really haven't found anything that is easy to take. She likes to take pills. Is easy to take and that provides the anti-inflammatory. And it's she takes the standardized curcumin pills. So it's extra, it's like turmeric on crack, but it can have its side effects as well. So, but which is anemia, but we get her tested for anemia and she is not anemic. So, but if she becomes anemic, then I would have to probably decrease it to the minimal dose that I could. But she chooses, Granny would rather bleed out than not be able to walk.
I think I will very much be on the same boat.
Yeah. So, cool. But if she's scheduled for a surgery, I'm not going to give her turmeric a week before. Her blood thinner, they have things that if they know you're on blood thinners, they know, like if you have to have an emergency surgery, they know they're going to have to take certain precautions in the bleeding risk. But it's her blood thinner that is a prescription blood thinner is a big deal. With heart medicines, specifically turmeric is fine. My mother is on 2 blood pressure pills, a water pill, and digoxin. So she's 95. These medicines keep my mom alive, and she has good quality of life. So, and again, she takes turmeric, vitamin C, magnesium, and CoQ10. Those are her supplements.
Okay.
Brilliant. I see we've got a couple of questions. I also want to know, you mentioned about hot and cool dogs. How do we know if a dog has a propensity to be hot?
So I deal with this in my book on chapter 3, best chapter in the book. But
chapter 3.
Yeah, best chapter in the book, and the best page in the book is page 137. So, but there's a lot of different ways, but the easiest way is, how does your dog deal with heat? Like, do they seek it out, or do they do they seek it out and then avoid it really quickly? Like, like, oh, I want to go sit in the sun. Oh, I'm too hot in 10 minutes. Now, this is not the case if it is a 90 degree day, right? That's a hot day for you guys, right? Any animal is going to be hot on that day. But the tolerance for the heat can fluctuate. So a cool dog could probably deal with that heat a good 20 minutes longer than a hot dog or a warm dog. But like in the house, in air conditioning and things like that, if you have air conditioning, like, cool dogs, if you cover them up with a blanket, like my dog Wheezy on the couch right now, she is a cool dog. I cover her up with a blanket every night, whether anything. She just likes to be, tuck her in. She loves that. Whereas my other dog, who she's passed away, but she was definitely a dog that, like, don't put that on me. Like, I'm going to get up and go on the cool tile floor. I'm going to go lay on the tile floor because it's nice and cool. Or a dog that, if you have a wood furnace, right? They're sitting in front of the furnace just baking. You got to physically remove them. That's not a warm dog. A warm dog is not going to do that more than a few minutes. So, like, really paying attention. And then there's those dogs that are a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you have to observe them, And
it changes. Dogs you don't always have got a cool dog. It can change.
Not so much, no.
As I've got a dog.
Cool.
So dogs are born either warm or cool.
Cool. Okay.
People are born either warm or cool. What changes them, and this happens more to people than dogs, is when you start removing organs. Like, you remove the spleen, and that's a major lymph organ. You're going to have, sorry, having a flash here. You're going to have a fluctuation that you're going to put a lot of cold into a dog by removing the spleen. Or temporarily, blood transfusions will change. But normally, a nice little healthy dog is born warm or cool. And you have beagles, right? Yes. So in your little pack of beagles, you're going to have some beagles that are warm, some beagles that are cool. Now, what does change is they get more cold or more warm. So the goal is to keep them just a nice, healthy warm and a nice, healthy cool. And they can be like towards the neutral. I've never really met a neutral dog, but like towards the neutral. So they're slightly warm, slightly cold. Those cool. That's beautiful. It's really healthy, super healthy. Unfortunately, I can't speak for Africa, but in the United States, we start messing our dogs up the moment they're born. Like, we just start destroying them the moment that we give them. By the time they're 6 months old, they have so many medications and so many things. And that's going to cause congestion. Like you were talking about your little dog that is having skin issues and stuff like that. I can tell you right now, their lymphatic system is the problem. It's going to make their immune system terrible. And the lymphatic system and the liver are your problem there. And when you clear those, everything else clears up. The immune system says, "Oh my God, I'm so happy." And then microbiome starts to be able to hold organisms instead of just flush them out. So figuring out if your dog is just warm or cool can really help open doors to getting, again, lasting results where they last months and years at a time versus just, I don't know if you know what whack-a-mole is, but just hitting symptoms like, here comes another one. I got to feel, just chasing those symptoms, just chasing down symptoms. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting to chase symptoms in ourselves and in our animals. So really knowing if you're warm or cool as a person, or if your dog is warm or cool. And then you can add that layer of moisture. And moisture is everything, because when you look at moisture in the body, how much moisture a dog has, are they damp or are they dry? Because if they're too damp, they're going to flood nutrients. It's going to, water everything down, right? And if they're too dry, they're not going to absorb nutrients because they're not going to have enough fats. And when you look at moisture in the body, it's water, fat, oil, plasma, blood. So what volumes are on that? Because if you're a person that, if you have a warm dog, a hot dog, let's say a hot dog, I want to know what the moisture level is there, because a lot of dogs that are super hot may not be getting enough moisture to cool. We want circulating fluids. We don't want them just sitting there. We don't want fluids to go slow. We want circulating fluids to have nice flow so that everything gets bathed in blood and that cools everything down, right? So back to the ecosystem. It's that water that goes through the ecosystem. And so hydration is a big deal. And dampness is a big deal, especially in dogs and cats here. Cats suffer from terrible dehydration, and dogs can have a lot of dampness because of what we do to them. So I talk about that in my book too. But if you only can figure out one thing, and that is your dog is warm or cool, it's going to give you a palette of herbs to choose from. It doesn't mean you can't use herbs from the other palette, the warm palette or the cool palette, but you don't want to predominantly use a lot of herbs that, if you have a cool dog and you give them, for instance, there's this lovely herb called gentian. Okay. And it's cold. It is cold, like cucumbers. Cucumbers are cold. If your dog is hot, cucumber water. My mentor, Matthew Wood, taught me that cucumber water is the thing that will cool a body and a dog off so quickly, because it's cold and it refrigerates in the body. So if you fed your dog, who's already cool, just cool, not cold, gentian, little drop of gentian in the food every day, and their favorite food was cucumbers, right? Every day for weeks at a time, you're going to push that dog into being cold. And when a dog is cold, they start getting diseases. And so when a dog is super hot, they start getting diseases. The ecosystem is too hot. The ecosystem is too cold. It's not balanced. And you see, if you went to the Arctic, right? If someone plopped you in the Arctic, you would feel so stagnant. You would be like, oh my God. Oh my God. And you would have all this tension in your body, right? Unless your body is equipped, like some of the animals that live in Arctic, their ecosystem works completely different than your warm-blooded animal, right? So, and if someone dropped you in the Mojave Desert or parts of Africa that are so incredibly hot, right? 10 minutes into it, again, you'd be shutting down. I need more moisture. Oh my God, I'm so dry. I can't breathe. I can't, because your body isn't used to that. And so we don't want those extremes. We want to, in holistic healing, we don't want those extremes. And the beautiful thing is people found this out hundreds of years ago. The hot and the warm and the cool. The physiomedicalist really understood the temperaments of the body and how the body did work as an ecosystem. And I will tell you, at the head of that ecosystem is the nervous system. The nervous system, for me, dictates everything. So
sure.
that's what there it is. That's me unable to shut up. There we go.
No. But carry on. I don't even want to ask you questions because you are doing such a great job of getting everything through to us. But I think we're gonna get you onto another thing now today. So let's just talk a little bit about the herbal first aid kit for a home with the animals. I mean, and not just animals, for ourselves as well. There's a herbal first aid kit that people can keep handy and ready with. So,
if you had to pick like 3 or 5, what would you put in it?
So, I would my first and foremost herb for a kit would be yarrow powder. Because it is absolutely amazing. Like Basset Hound got in fight with Bulldog. These are my two animals that passed away last year and this year. But like Basset Hound got in fight with Bulldog. Gertie, the Bulldog, bit my Basset Hound on the ear. And you know how bad ears bleed, right? Had a huge gash about that long, very deep into the ear flap, blood everywhere. All I did was grab the yarrow powder out of the cupboard, and I just took the powder, just the ground up powder, and I shoved it through the blood into the ear. I wiped it in there. I kept putting it in there and putting it in there and putting it in there until it stuck. And within 10 minutes, she was out in the yard looking for her bone, which was the reason for the fight, without my Bulldog. But like nothing happened. And it stopped the bleeding immediately. But one of the things, it's so amazing. What it does is it heals from the inside out. It's an antiseptic, even in its powdered form. It stops pain within probably 2 minutes.
Wow.
My partner cut their arm with a chainsaw, a small chainsaw, but one of those handheld chainsaws. It went through and went right into her arm. And all I did, yarrow powder. And this was last year. And she didn't believe me. And I learned the whole thing about yarrow powder from one of my mentors. And he told a story about a guy who cut his leg with a chainsaw, a big chainsaw. But she had a little chainsaw, and I grabbed the yarrow powder and I shoved it in there, and she was screaming at me. It's going to hurt, you know. She was like, oh my God, the pain is gone. It's gone. And she did, it's gone. It's gone. And I'm like, yeah, it's gone. And we cleaned it out every day. We stuck the yarrow powder back in there every day. And pretty soon it was closed. And then we used comfrey after any risk of infection, because you don't want to use comfrey with anything that has pus. And comfrey just healed it right up after the yarrow. So I would definitely say yarrow is one of my favorite things. Another thing, which isn't an herb, but hydrated bentonite clay. In the summer, I have little pots of hydrated bentonite clay. I've got one in the refrigerator. I've got one in the car. I've got one outside. I've got one up by the barn. I have them so I don't have to go far to find them, right? But hydrated bentonite clay, if your dog or any animal gets bit by something or stung or spider bite, snake bite, whatever, you slap it on and it will immediately draw that venom down out. Just, you can feel it. If you ever use it on yourself, you can feel the venom going down your body and out. So you slap it on. Once it gets cakey, you take it off, slap it on again, usually about 3 times. And it's a miracle. It's a miracle. So there's that. Milk thistle seed and milk thistle tincture, alcoholic tincture. Don't freak out about dogs and alcohol. Read my section in my book on it. It'll calm you down. But Alcoholic tincture, because milk thistle needs alcohol to really be its best self as far as making those ingredients really quickly absorb into the bloodstream. So anytime you think you've poisoned your dog, if they've eaten a mushroom they're not supposed to eat, anything like that, milk thistle is going to buy you time while you can get to the vet. And what you do is you just keep like a dropper every 10 minutes, a whole dropper. I don't care how big your dog is, unless it's like under 5 pounds. Then you would do like a quarter dropper every 5 minutes. But that's an acute dose. It's not going to harm the liver. It's going to save the liver. Can't guarantee that, of course, but it's going to give you your best shot, right? It's going to give you your best shot. Homeopathic arnica, homeopathic St. John's wort, regular St. John's wort, or homeopathic St. John's wort for nerve problems. I really, really love that for sure. But arnica, homeopathic arnica is just absolutely beautiful for, to get into when a dog has trauma, when they are injured. Absolutely love it. And I like to mix it. There's a Adored Beast product here in the States called the Go-To, and it's a mix of homeopathic arnica and aconite. And I always have aconite in my pack, because aconite will get you out of shock. So, and it will get you out of shock quickly. Or when your dog is afraid, thunderstorms, vet visits, car rides, things like that, it will get you out of that really quickly.
Wow.
So we love that. I'm just thinking, if I was stranded on an island, the one herb that I would have is nettles.
Okay.
It's not necessarily an emergency herb, but it's so nutritious, and it's high in protein. It's so nutritious. It gives you all of your minerals. So like those things I think are really important, but yeah, it's not necessarily not necessarily an emergency herb. But as far as like making a kit, give me a chance to think. I did yarrow. We got milk thistle. We've got arnica, homeopathic arnica, homeopathic aconite. Apis, homeopathic apis, which is bee venom. Definitely apis and belladonna are my two bee venom, sting, bite, swelling, are really great. So if the bite or something is really red and inflamed, I use belladonna. If not, I use apis. And then you can mix that with ledum. Ledum is for all types of bites, right? All types of bites. Blackberry root, blackberry leaf. Sorry, not root. Blackberry leaf tincture. Okay. Don't leave home without it. It is. Okay. It will stop diarrhea like that. So a tincture of blackberry. For a big dog, you can use a whole dropper. These are acute dosages, meaning you're not going to use them a long time. Maybe 1 or 2 droppers per day for 3 days. But it will stop terrible diarrhea. Love it. And it'll keep you from using antibiotics for those types of things. And you can use it for a lot of things. A lot of reasons for diarrhea that can't be controlled. Blackberry leaf is wonderful for that. And you can use it as a tincture. You can also use it as a tea over the food. It's great for helping dogs transition to raw food. If you're worried about a dog getting diarrhea from like the change in the gut, blackberry leaf tea on the raw food, wonderful. Chamomile bags, chamomile tea bags in your little kit. You can use them as compresses over the eye, like conjunctivitis. It also helps with shock. I'm thinking if there's anything else. Rescue Remedy flower essence. That's a good one. Fear, shock, emotional distress. And you can use that along with the aconite and arnica. Oh, and last but not least, slippery elm powder.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah,
that is number one in my house.
Yeah, slippery elm or marshmallow root. I like to use marshmallow root in lieu of slippery elm, but because it's a little bit endangered. But slippery elm powder, like if you're, I like blackberry much better for any type of diarrhea. But if your dog eats something that they're not supposed to eat, if they have anything that might cause an obstruction, copious amounts of slippery elm down the hatch. It's not going to hurt them, but it's going to coat whatever they ate and help it slip out the other side. If your dog eats a cooked bone, right? Just tons of slippery elm. Just force feed it in a nice, gentle way. Just tell them, rub their throat and say, I know you don't realize that cooked bones could perforate your stomach, right? We got to do this. I'm so sorry. You'll get treats afterwards after we get this out, but you got to get it done. But it's helped socks get out. It helps from having, obstruction surgery, which is very expensive. So slippery elm is great for that.
So I want to tell you about slippery elm and my things. So slippery elm is I think I've got slippery elm everywhere in my house, almost like you've got your clay in terms of that. Sorry for guys, my beagles want to lie with me and now they want to go to Zander, so they're going to maybe make a little bit of noise. My Irish Wolfhound had a hot spot when we just moved in the first very hot summer. And I felt so bad about it because my dogs don't get that. I don't get hot spots. I don't get things like that. I look well. And then this sort of caught me off guard and I realized she's got a hot spot. And I phoned the breeder and I said, what do? I've never had one. And he said to me, use some baking soda. And as I walked to the kitchen, I thought to myself, why baking soda? Yeah, I hear that, but what about slippery elm? And I could not believe that it literally healed it within a day. It is absolutely amazing. And when my pups were still a little bit frisky with one another, they used to, like beagles bite each other in the heels. And you can't put stitches in there or in the ear. And then there's this rip and you can't put stitches in there. It's got to just heal. Slippery elm is amazing for that. It heals really, really good. That used to be my thing. But the problem is it is an endangered substance. And it is in South Africa, it is extremely expensive. It is really, really expensive. So it is something that you've got to
let me so marshmallow root is pretty interchangeable for those purposes. Marshmallow root has more of an affinity in the kidney, like the bladder, but for the gut. And here's the thing. Anything that heals the skin, right, is healing to the gut. Okay, so but anything that heals, almost anything that heals the gut, which slippery elm does, will heal the skin. So calendula, plantain, marshmallow root, slippery elm, aloe, yarrow, all of those things heal the skin very quickly. But there's the two things or three things, like golden seal, which is also endangered, very endangered. But golden seal will seal in pus. Calendula will seal in pus. Comfrey will seal in pus. Now, I don't use comfrey internally unless it's acute and I don't have anything else to use. But comfrey will heal a hot spot. It'll heal so many things very quickly. But you never want to use comfrey, golden seal, calendula for anything to do with pus, because you will seal it in and it will be infected and it could cause horrible problems. But the things that don't have, like slippery elm doesn't interfere. It doesn't heal that quickly that you have to worry about that. It is a wonderful skin herb. It's if you ever did a slippery elm mask on your face, it's quite interesting. But marshmallow root will do the same. Plantain will also do the same. So yeah, it's a good intuition that you had to put the slippery elm on the hot spot. I like it.
It was this amazing moment for me. And then I went and did some research about slippery elm, like really going down the rabbit hole. And I came across a research paper. So this was 3 years ago. So I came across a research paper where it was used as an infertility drug to help women conceive. And I was just so amazed about it, because I just thought that is, you think for us, basically slippery elm is something when you've got diarrhea or you've got a tummy issue, whatever.
It has a lot of other uses.
There is so many other uses. There's a gazillion uses, and it is actually because it heals membranes. So then you start thinking about it, and that, if you go into natural and the herbal route of healing, it is a unbelievable field of surprises and
it is
wonderful things that you can. It's absolutely amazing. I love following you when you walk through your garden and you say this does this and this does that, etc. But it is just always so nice that Mother Nature can give us so many amazing things that can be so helpful for our pets and for us. It's an underutilized gift that we've got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's fun.
One of our followers have just asked a question, and this is a specific South African herb. It's called buchu. I don't know if you have that.
No, I just
Googled the scientific name. It's Agathosma crenulata. Does that ring a bell at all? All right, we'll introduce you to buchu then when you come to South Africa.
I love meeting new plants.
Great. And then the other question, and Aubrey asked that, and Rita, I think it's very good, because it also, and you mentioned about the raw feeding as well, is how do we complement raw feeding with herbs? And Aubrey's question is about cooling proteins and cooling herbs, and warming proteins and warming herbs. Do these counteract each other if you put them together in the bowl, or how does that?
It's more of it's more in the formulation conversation, but yes. So for me, in the last, I think I'm going on almost 25 years, but for me, the sicker a dog is, the more, they call them comorbidities, right? The more issues a dog has, the more sensitive they are going to be to the energetics of something, for me. So if you have a dog, let's just use my dog as an example. So my dog is a damp, cool dog. Okay. I would never give her pork, because pork is going to make her so much worse in anything she does. It's just going to add to the dampness. It's very cooling. And if I that's all I had to give her was pork, right? I'd be like, oh God. So what I could do is I could add goat to her food, which is the other half of, it's very warming and it's very drying, in my opinion, my experience of goat. Okay. If you look up the lists, and even in your fancy book, you're going to see some conflicting information, no matter where you look, about what's warm and what's cool. I only speak to my experience of proteins with a ton of people. That's it. The proteins that were picked in TCM 2000 years ago, those proteins do not exist today. The conditions do not exist today. And factory farming did not exist then. Okay.
Exactly.
So, and factory farming changes the energetics of so many things, makes them much hotter or much colder, depending on what it is. So, but so you kind of have to work as an individual, in my opinion. But yes, if you have something that you're doing and you want to warm something up, like if you have something that's cooling and you want to give it to your dog that's already cool, just add ginger. Ginger is hot. It's very, very warming, and it will warm things up. So add ginger. You're going to warm it up. So yes, you can counteract the effects of energetics. You can help balance them out. But if your dog, has respiratory issues and arthritis and, high liver enzymes and certain things like that, I would definitely pay very much attention to energetics in general and try to feed from that and herbs from that palette, because that dog I already know is cold or hot. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense for me, because that's basically the basis of what I do when I deal with patients, in terms of I don't want to call them patients, when I deal with dogs or cats that's ill and we're trying to fix it with food. And it is a very interesting thing. And this little big fancy book that I showed you earlier has a lot of conflict, because it is a lot of things changes. And I've actually realized that like venison is a very important protein in South Africa. But if I compare it to venison in your side of the valley, it's different. You can't classify it as the same, because you've now got to look at who's grazes and whether they're grazes or whether they're eating leaves. And there's a lot of things that you've got to look at when you look at the energetics of food and of proteins. But it's important. And I mean, I'm not even touching the herbal side, because I mean, even though I'm reading your book, I feel like I'm still in kindergarten.
Yeah,
I still need to graduate for another 12 years before I could get
I can tell you that in the back of my book, in my energetic section, it says that holy basil is cooling, and it's not. It's a lie. It's a typo, and I saw it in there the other day, and whenever you write a book and you see an error, you're like, I just I want to send out one of those alerts on the phone where you get the phone. For all of you that bought Rita Hogan's book, holy basil is not cooling. Yeah. So, but I digress. But
it happens.
When it comes out to print again, I'll fix it. But but yeah, I mean, you just kind of venison is warming, but how warming? Like African venison could be warmer or cooler than the venison here. And when I look at energetics, I always say, okay, it's warming compared to what? Ginger is warmer than turmeric. They're both warming. Okay. But ginger is much hotter than turmeric. And, some pieces of ginger are going to be even really hot, like peppers, certain peppers, depending on what side of the hill they grew on. This pepper isn't hot. This pepper is, I can't remember what the pepper was called, but a lot of people here will say, well, you can bite into it. A lot of them aren't hot. There's no heat at all. And then you get that one that, that's going to blow your head off. And yeah, so food therapy is interesting, but it's important. It's important. It's just as important as herbs or anything else, because what goes into the diet is something that a dog is getting day in and day out. So it's for me, it's everything. Food is.
So I want to ask something about the overuse of herbs, because I do sometimes feel some people will say, my dog has now been diagnosed with, let me think. What have I got? I've got so many kidney disease clients at the moment. It's unreal. I think I've had 12 in the last 10 days of severe kidney disease scenarios. But let's take kidney disease, and now they go and they put everything that you can read about kidney disease, and they throw everything all together, all the herbal supplements, all the homeopathic stuff and whatever. And there is, give me your insights in terms of the overuse of herbs. Can you overuse it?
Oh my God, yes. Absolutely. Here's the thing. You know, I mean, I see clients every day, and here's the thing. It is from the best place of intention. Okay? Like, it's the best place of intention. The intent is there to help. But I see clients all the time that are giving 30 substances a meal to their animal. And everything is processed by the liver, almost everything, depending on what orifice you're putting it in. And also, you know, some things aren't, but very few things. But things in the food bowl are. And the liver has to process it. So how congested is the liver? You know, how all of our livers right now in the world are being overworked. And then it prepares those substances for the kidneys and the stool. But all of our water soluble products are going through the kidneys. And how much energy does those kidneys have to process that blood volume and create urine, right? 30 supplements is going to cause what I call systemic confusion, right? And a lot of these supplements can cancel each other out. Some of them can be extremely filled with trace minerals, and then you get too many minerals, right? And some with quite a few synthetic minerals, which is a big problem in my opinion. And so yeah, you can totally kitchen sink your dog. That's what it's called here, kitchen sinking. You're throwing everything at them just to see if something sticks. And that comes from desperation. And it just comes from not being able to know what to do for your dog when they're ill and not getting enough support. So you're kind of taken into that's why I wrote my book, so that people could heal their dogs and experience nature medicine like we used to a couple, even 100 years ago. We have it it's right there on the precipice of our memory. Just like, you know, when you said, well, I don't think I'm going to give that. I think I'm going to give slippery elm a try. That is an innate memory. I guarantee it. It's slippery elm going, hey, I'm here. Like, I can do this. I'm talking to you. And I'm letting you know that, no, don't do that. Do this. And we need that energy back. We need that medicine back into our hands. Right. And to have more confidence in going out your front door and meeting them and understanding that they're there for us to help us learn and to help us heal. And animals have an innate relationship with plants. So they haven't forgotten it.
And that is something that when we were in Mallorca, and I so loved the talk about zoopharmacognosy, because I so often think that dogs, animals has got the ability to actually go and pick out herbs that they need, and they know that they need it. Going out, my dogs, when we go out, they run out. So we've got a big property. It's like 2 hectares, and a part I've cordoned off a part, because otherwise the beagles will run the hole full of Gordon's Bay because they will escape. So they're a little bit restricted. They still have got a lot of place, but when the dandelion starts growing and come out, they go and eat the dandelion, and it tells me that is good for them, or they need it. So that is, I mean, there's a lot of things like that, and all these little field grasses and herbs that you don't even know is something that can do some, because I mean, I've got no clue. But the dogs like to choose what they need, and it is a very, very, very important part. And I think herbs is such a part of a balanced life, that we need to be more aware and look what our animals choose as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right on the money there. Right on the money. I love it.
I can get clever sometimes. I wish we lived in a world where we was just that this was not something like an aha moment, that it was just part of everything, that we got so removed from what nature gives us, and the answer is in what nature gives us. And we got so removed from that. And it is so nice if you get that aha, that penny drop moment where you realize, okay, this is where we need to be, and this is where we get to be, and you embrace what is given to us. It's really it's an important journey that you go through by realizing this, and that's why I think also for me doing these podcasts and doing the African Pet Health Summit is to get people to have that aha moment, because when you get that, it is so empowering to know that we can do something and we are not helpless.
No, we're not. We're not helpless. It's just, acquiring that knowledge again that got lost 100 years ago. Like it's just, and it can be a balance. I'm not going to tell someone that they can't use pharmaceutical medicine. I mean, pharmaceutical medicine has saved my butt quite a few times, but as a bridge, right? It was a bridge. I used it temporarily and then got back on my train, and it serves its purpose, but it does not prevent health. It does not prevent disease, and it does, to my knowledge, hardly ever heal it. It manages it. It can manage it, but it doesn't heal it, and it doesn't prevent it. And that's where clean living comes. Like my brand, Canine Herbalist, its little tagline is "A healthy dog is a way of life," and it is. It's a way of life. And my biggest joy is how my animals have gotten myself to live a healthy lifestyle, because I mean, there's just no other choice for me.
So this comes to something that I feel is really important that everybody needs to understand as well. Herbs is not just for when something goes wrong. It is part of a healthy lifestyle and a wellness awareness and enrichment. And that is something that I think we need to explore more. And I think we can carry on with this for freaking 10 hours. We are already 7 minutes over time. I'm still going to
No, we're still on page 1 of the questions.
It's like so I just want to say to everybody that's listening that has not booked their tickets for the African Pet Health Summit, guys, you've got to be here. This is going to be this is like tip of the iceberg of what you're going to experience, and the knowledge that is going to be shared in the room. So I'm really want to say, guys, come, and if you do that, this is part of the VIP package, and we are opening another 10 VIP seats today because I got some extra books. I just got another order of some more books of Rita.
Oh, and you know what? Do you know what? That book, that copy of the book, right? They changed my book as far as it's a little more compact. It's very strange how they went from this bigger book to this compact book, but that has that version, that printing has the upgraded index that yours truly did herself. So I took my book. When I saw the index, I was like, I'm not really happy with this index. So I spent 8-10-hour days doing that index, like 80 hours to putting that index together. And it is good. That index is good. You can find anything in the book. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I must be very honest with you. So come, guys, book your ticket, and you can have it signed by yours truly for you. And Really, 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 guys. This is what makes me so excited about what we do, because this is really, really. I mean, look at the value that we've had in this little conversation, and it is so much value. And I really want to say, Rita, thank you for giving your time to us today, because I know you're a busy lady, and I know it's in the middle of your working day. So we really, really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And we cannot wait to have you in South Africa, and then we'll go to another 5 pages of our questions. And we're going to
we'll have a podcast, and we'll answer the rest of the questions.
Yeah. We're just going to need to do that, whatever. So I just want to quickly, Rita, tell everybody, besides coming to the African Pet House Summit to meet you in person and have something else, where else can people find you?
They can find me at canineherbalism.com, which is my school and like learning platform. And then I have a podcast, which is Dogs Are Individuals. I do that every single week. And then I've done it, I think, for the last 2 years, every single week. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
And then Instagram at Canine Herbalist, Facebook at Canine Herbalist. And I have a $25 a month Q&A advisory, which is in canineherbalism.com, that I answer people's questions nonstop. So, and do lives once a month. That's about it.
Correct.
And you do consults?
Oh, I do consults. I do consults with my mentee, Krista Fox. We do them together. She has been a vet technician for over 10 years. And so we do them together, and it's super fun. So yes, we do consulting for all over the world.
Great.
So we'll get everything from you, and we'll post it on our record. When we post the recording, we'll give all the links and everything out there. And then have you got a message for our listeners?
Sure. My message
Drink
would
more
be
beer.
Drink more beer. And no, my message would be to have patience with yourself. You know, that's the biggest thing. Have patience with yourself. Don't expect things to change in a day. Don't put a ton of pressure on yourself. You know, like I talk about in my book, at the end of the day, all your dog really wants is for you to love them. So, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect, know everything at one time, and just be patient and little baby steps every day. Just take something every day to improve your situation.
That's brilliant.
Thank you,
Rita.
Thank you so much. It was really wonderful having you here. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank
listening
you.
to us. And just for the last teaser, just to make it more. I'm just going to do this, and now it's disappeared. I can't believe it. Oh no, it's not meant to be. It disappeared.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
We'll play it next week again.
You
We'll
have to
sing it next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. Rita, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep well.
Thank you. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.